Ariel Helwani in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, alongside the reigning defending UFC flyweight champion Demetrious Johnson, alongside the reigning defending UFC women's bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes, alongside Ray Borg, alongside Valentina Shevchenko. If you win this fight, are you the greatest fighter of all time?
I'm already the greatest fighter of all time. I mean, my open workouts, there's not another person in this sport who can transition between things like I can. I mean, there just isn't. I mean,
what do you mean by that, transition between things?
Like, I can strike and then change elevation and come back up and then throw a knee, come here, throw over here, right, and then throw a high kick. Like, I can do all that stuff to where I haven't seen another athlete do it.
Do you feel like going into this fight, because of what happened in July, there's a little more pressure on you to sort of prove that you're the best, to prove that what was said about you in July isn't accurate? You fought some of the best, Misha and Ronda most recently, but now it seems like there's a spotlight on you a little more than in the past. Do you feel that way?
You know, I'm the champ. I have to defend this belt. I'm not going to stay home like the belt there and then I'm sitting down in the couch. No, I have to step in the cage. I have to defend, and I will keep doing it. No pressure at all. I'm a fighter. I have to step in the cage and fight. This is what I like to do.
Sure.
You know, nobody's going to stop me, and I feel like I'm in the best shape ever, than ever. And I'm ready for Valentina for sure. I know everything she's going to bring that night. I fight her, I beat her already, and I will do it again.
I know you won't give us the game plan, but is it the same game plan for this fight that you had in July, the fight that never happened, or did you change anything in the last 2 months?
No, it's pretty the same game plan, but more from this. Like I say, I'm ready to work from the very first second of the fight till the last second of the fight, and I'm prepared for all 5 rounds. But I will look forward to finish her as soon as I can.
Last thing, how's the weight cut going? What are we at right now?
Weight cut, we're great. We're right on track. Same progression as we were in Brazil. I have perfecting athletes behind me, so the women there are doing a wonderful job making sure my weight's on tack and making sure I'm getting in the right foods, right liquids to get this weight cut and this party started.
How much do you weigh right now? Could you tell us?
No, I don't want to tell you guys.
It's a secret?
It's a super secret.
Why?
Okay, fine. I weigh about, this morning I woke up about 8 pounds over.
Is that good for you?
That's amazing for me
compared
to 8 pounds a day of weigh-ins, so it's good for me.
Some disappointing news for the fans here in Alberta. They have sort of become used to this type of thing dating back to UFC 149. Again, on Thursday, we found out that Ray Borg was forced to pull out of UFC 215. He was scheduled to face Demetrious Johnson in the UFC flyweight title fight main event. He was forced to pull out due to a virus infection, UFC doctors ruling him unfit to fight. The UFC did not book a replacement for Demetrious Johnson. They are hoping to reschedule that particular fight in the very near future, but as of right now, we are proceeding with just one title fight on this card, and that will be Valentina Shevchenko versus Amanda Nunes for the UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship. The funny thing about that, of course, is that 2 months ago, we lost that main event just hours before UFC 213, and following that news, UFC President Dana White said that he would not headline a card with those 2 fighters, and now here he is forced to headline UFC 215 with those 2 fighters. Do you feel the need, because let's be honest, a lot of the fighters are afraid to speak up at times. You are not afraid to speak up.
No, yeah.
But your platform kind of decreases if you're not in the UFC. Do you feel a need to keep going so that you can have a louder voice and be in front of cameras and things like that? And is that part of the motivation to continue to win and be successful in the UFC?
Exactly, yeah. It's one of the main reasons that I'm still here. It's one of the main driving forces behind me wanting to train so hard and put in all those hours, because I've got a lot to do and I've got a lot of other talents that I would like to pursue as well. But I know that for me to really be an influence to change things for the better, for my students, for the next generation, I need to be assigned by the UFC, which is why, in order to go, for me to, like, say if I fought my contract out and went to the free market, for me to go to Bellator, they would have to pay me an exorbitant amount of money, even if UFC wasn't paying me much, just because I need to be able to create some sort of change. And from the outside, it's very, very difficult to do that.
It was really awesome walking out. The song I picked was my dad's favorite song, so he passed away almost 6 years ago. So, it was super emotional walking out. And then I got my period today, so it's even more emotional. And then I got the win, so I'm even like over the top, so I can't stop crying.
Okay.
There is. There is.
Wow.
So too much information, I'm sure, but it's a lot to process right now, and in Canada, I'm finally coming back, and I had a lot of doubt in myself, and I'm finally, getting confidence back, and It was good. It was fun, and I'm sorry I can't stop crying. These are.
A lot of fans were disappointed not to see Jinder Mahal walk out with you. Could you tell us what happened?
Yeah, man, he gave me a call. He's caught in a hurricane. He lives in Tampa, Florida, and he's like, you know what, brother, I got 4 different properties down here. I got my dog down here. I just haven't been able to get, make peace and then leave this. So he decided to bunker down there. So the Maharaja got grounded, but I'm thinking of him. I told him stay safe first and foremost, and we'll see him in the foreseeable future.
The hurricane hindered Jinder, right?
Yes, for sure. But he'll come out on top either way.
Okay. And will you try to do this again? And on top of that, how did you set this up? Because it's a very unique thing to try to get someone from that world to watch.
For sure.
Here.
Jinder is a Punjabi Indian just like me. We are brothers. We've known each other for about 10, 12 years. I was on the university wrestling team at that time. He was still trying to break it on the regional scene. And, look where we're at now. It's pretty cool. We laugh about it sometimes. He's at the top of the food chain now where he is. I am where I am. Wrestling has a huge history in India. It's the unofficial national sport in the country. You look at the cave paintings all the way through, it's wrestling. It's in the founders of our religion practiced wrestling. And that is the biggest market for the WWE, period. So, to do that cross promotion, it was, aside from our personal relationship, it was a no-brainer for me.
It's a weird thing because you were so dominant and you looked so good, and yet it seemed like the chatter, at least online, was that fight should have been stopped a lot sooner, and it was almost egregious that it was going on as long as it did. Were you thinking the same as you're completely annihilating him in there?
Yeah, I did midway through the fight, definitely in the 3rd round. I looked up at the ref, and asked him, hey, stop the fight. But he would just move just enough, but he was taking some unnecessary damage, I thought. It's too bad. We're in the hurting business, but I don't want to see anyone get hurt unnecessary. It definitely should have been stopped.
Congratulations, Jeremy. The general consensus seems to be that was one of, if not your best performance ever in the UFC. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. Normally when I fight, I'm just so focused on just being in that present moment and going to work. Not going to lie, I was extremely nervous for this fight. I got back to home base with Eric Del Fiero and just worked on not chasing, stick to the center of the octagon until my hands raised, and that's what we did tonight. Felt like I tuned in, we had a great game plan, and we did everything right tonight. I'll have to go back, look at the fight, see what I did good, what I didn't, and but if you say that's my best performance, thank you very much. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I think so. I'm evolving, Ariel. Like, even when I fought Demetrius, I was only in MMA for exactly 3 years, and I'm still growing as a fighter. I never did amateurs as a mixed martial artist. I went straight pro, and I was kind of in the fast lane a little bit, but I'm slowly improving. And like people say, and Joseph would always say, like, Henry's an athlete, and he's right. I'm an athlete. I can do a lot of things that maybe your typical wrestler can't.
This division is wide open. All the top 5, top 6 guys on this division have lost to the champion or for the last challenger, which was Damian Maia. Thompson lost twice for Woodley already, and I'm a new blood on this division. I was getting ready to fight Woodley if Maia didn't take the fight, but he ended up taking the fight, but I was getting ready for it. And so here I am. I'm coming, former lightweight champion, looking forward to be 2 division champion.
In your mind, which rounds do you think you won decisively?
I think after the first round, it was like pretty close. Second, third, and fourth, it was mine. In fifth, all the round, it was mine. In just one takedown, I think about this takedown, it judges, they give to other side. But how I said, even this takedown, it was only like control position, and I was landing more punches from being on the ground.
A lot of people talk about my last fight against Valentina was 3-minute rounds, and then I got tied in the 30, all those things. But people have to understand it. The fight evolve. The fight evolve, I'm always go back to the gym. You want to do better and better. Go back to the gym, learn new things, And tonight was 5 rounds that I want to show for people. No knockout, no submission. 5 rounds. This was my strategy tonight. in the first 2 rounds, I kicked her, and then I caught her knee, and then I got a little bit hurt, and then I not be able to do that much in the fight. And I save a lot of energy, make her do all the work. This was the strategy, you know, make her miss, make her do all the work, and then waiting for the best moments to change the rounds was with my takedowns at the end, and with a little bit strike and kicks to make her keep like punching, and then keep her like moving, and then get her tired. And I not be able to do that much because I hurt my foot, and I still like try to, of course, knock her out. But my big things tonight was go to 5 rounds, show the world I'm ready, I'm the champion, I'm here to stay.
Thank you very much to Dave Doyle, our crew here, Esther Casey. Thank you very much to all of you for watching our coverage all week long from the YEG, the City of Champions, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We are done. Good night from Edmonton.